Alright everyone, so this is going to be a bit of a just different video. All we're going to do is watch this animation, and then I'll talk about the game, how I feel about it, my rating for it. So I'll just hit this, a cinematic's going to play, it might be a minute or two, and then I'll give my thoughts on the story mode of Battlefield 1, and it's only going to be based off the story mode. The multiplayer has no place here. So I'll let this play.
One day, all this will be over. The war to end all wars will be won by one side or the other. The guns will rust, grass will grow, and there'll be nothing left of any of this. The land will heal itself, as everything does in the end. We'll be long gone by then, but maybe not forgotten. History only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us. Then the future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did, how we lived, how we fought, and how we died. When this is all over and the war is won, they will remember us. But until that day comes, we will stand. We will look death in the eye. And we will fight.
Alright. And here's the credits that I will talk over. So, first of all, being very respectful because this is a game about the First World War. And whenever you make a game about war, you want to be respectful about it because real people died, gave their lives, some families never came back. You know, so you want to be respectful about it. But just talking about the game here, it's a good game. I wish the campaign was longer, but then again, this is mainly a multiplayer game. The Battlefield games kind of moved away from their story-driven campaigns and went more to a multiplayer-based, which a lot of games I feel are doing, which sucks, because story-driven games are usually the best, because everyone talks about story-driven games, you know. Let me just turn that down a little bit. Everyone talks about story-driven games, you know, years after they've been gone. I mean, I still like to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, and I still love when people talk about it because that game, its story was so good. There is a multiplayer, but the game is so good. That is a 12 out of 10 game for me. Yeah, and I wish I could forget it and play it all over again for the first time. But this game is very similar in that way. So on the story, on the graphics, it's like an 8 out of 10 because the story it's short. The missions are kind of repetitive, but they're not bad. I mean, hell, I've played some of those missions like 10 times over because they're a lot of fun to play. And, you know, you can do them a little differently. There's a little bit of replay value, not much, but a little bit. And yeah. But my overall rating for this game, you know, taking into effect, you know, the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the characters, the programming, taking into account all that, I'm going to give Battlefield 1 War Stories a 7 out of 10. Because, you know, sometimes I feel the programming was off. I had like 1 or 2 where it's like I'm sure I was hitting someone and it just wasn't doing it. You know. And also, the only thing, like the only real criticism I have for this is that it was too short. I really would have liked there to be more missions. I mean, you know, you're taking, what was it, 7 years Was it 7 years? 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. No, sorry, 5 years. World War II was 7 years. 5 years. You're taking 5 years of a global conflict, and you're going to compress it into five little stories. You could have done so much more. But then again, they weren't too focused on the campaign. They were more focused on the multiplayer, which I get. I mean, you know, it sells. But so do good storied games. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Mortal Kombat to an extent. There's probably more, like Final Fantasy, there's probably more. I don't play a whole bunch of other games. But of the ones I've played, I mean, I love the stories of A Way Out, Red Dead Redemption 2, even Red Dead Revolver. That was a really good story. I see a lot of people watching that, so I'm glad that that one's got going on. So, you know, if you write a good game that has a good story, you can make a lot of money off of it. And this game is a good example. It's not the greatest example, but it's a good example. But yeah. So anyways, that is it for this. But the next series will be a game that comes out tomorrow. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in that game.